Welcome back to the Dylan Shea channel. Today we're doing a World Cup review, group stage review anyway. The game's just finished about 2 hours ago, maths, eh? And yeah, wanted to talk about the groups. Wanted to upload a video by tomorrow, which is going to be very tough. I have to record this. It's currently 11 o'clock in the night. I don't think the lighting's that good. It's all a bit rushed, it really is, but well, we'll just go with it. Let's get straight into it. Let's not mess around, otherwise I'm going to be here until 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's start with the hosts, Qatar. Now, I'm not just saying this to be factually correct, because this is factually correct. I'm just saying this as a general opinion, that Qatar have been the worst team ever to host the World Cup. Now, this is factually correct as well, but I'm 19, I've seen about 3 World Cups properly in my life. I haven't even seen the other rest. I've seen about 5% of them. And I can just tell you that Qatar are just the worst team ever to host the World Cup. They have been awful. They are the first host side to lose their opening game, comfortably beat by Ecuador as well, 2-0. Could have been more. A very close offside that everyone thought was offside at the time. Turns out it wasn't. And if you're the first one to lose your opening game, well, you're obviously the first one to lose all 3 as well. So, yeah, not brilliant for Qatar. All these stadiums, but, you know, actually having the World Cup there just to lose the first, well, all of your games. To be fair to Qatar, they were in a tough group. Let's talk about Group A. Let's talk about Netherlands first. I think we should start by saying that they're okay, Netherlands. Netherlands are just an okay team. They're not going to win this World Cup unless it's some miracle. They are just a good team, got the job done, which is the most important thing. We've seen big teams go out so far in this World Cup. So for them to get the job done is the most important thing. This is why I'm saying they're a decent to good team, right? They haven't been totally impressive. I've been impressed with Frenkie de Jong, as I always am when I watch him. Seems like he needs a move from Barcelona. His reputation hasn't gone up since him being there. I think a move to the Premier League would be incredible for Frenkie de Jong. I said all of this in my last video, by the way, if you want to watch it. Should be an eye in the corner. Subscribe if you're new. Yeah, Frenkie de Jong has been very impressive, and I thought the game against Senegal is where he shined the most. He's been good in every game, by the way. He's probably been like a top 5 midfielder in this World Cup, maybe top 3. The cross to Gakpo is incredible, but apart from assists, and I think he scored a goal as well, he's just been good in his general play. I think his runs on the ball, just to drive with the ball, has been huge for Netherlands so far, to get them in the attacking third and create chances. And we have to talk about the youngster. I'm youngster. When people were talking about Gakpo, I thought he was like 18. He's 23. So I thought he was a bit younger than that. So I don't think you can say youngster really anymore. He's been good. He scored 3 goals, good finishes as well. I love the first goal. The header, I just thought it was brave, and a lot of players missed that. He didn't. So he seems to be a good finisher. I haven't been I'm not blown away by him. I don't think he's like going to be world class in the future. A 60 mil price tag, Man United to buy him, is what I've been seeing. I don't think it's worth it, but I could be wrong, obviously. But he does look good at the same time. I'm not saying he looks rubbish, but 60 mil just seems a lot to me. Now, I predicted Ecuador to go through, and they didn't. It was a very close battle between them and Senegal. I thought it would be close. I thought Ecuador would edge it, because I haven't been impressed with Senegal, and I'm still not really. I mean, I thought Koulibaly in the Ecuador game was actually like ridiculously good. He was a man mountain, and I'm not just saying that because he scored a goal, which is what like a lot of commentators do. I just thought in general he was insane in that game. The goal is obviously very good. He had a similar one against Tottenham in the Premier League as well, that header, and then he's there for the volley. It's a very good goal. Yeah, Senegal just edged it. I thought Ecuador were the better team actually against Senegal. And I think Enner Valencia has been one of the stars of this World Cup so far. And I'm quite happy with my prediction that Ecuador will go through, because I don't think many people thought that over Senegal. And even though they didn't, I thought Ecuador were one of the teams that has gone out that didn't really deserve to go out. Tough game for Senegal next though against England. They are the Africa Cup of Nations champions. They know how to win, games of football. They just do. They've got through in this one, so Could we see an upset? We have to talk about, for me, the biggest story of the World Cup so far. It's Germany versus Japan, right? Hansi Flick. Now, Hansi Flick has a lot to answer for in this one, like a lot. Now, when you consider they finished behind Japan, who look a lot better than I think a lot of people would have thought in this World Cup. But it happens, it shouldn't happen really, but okay. But to finish fourth, Germany again, for the second World Cup in a row, finishing fourth in the group stage behind Costa Rica, Kimmich, Neuer, Rudiger, Muller arguably, Sane arguably when he's on it. You have potentially, for me, 5 world-class players there. I think Neuer, they are all arguable, apart from Rudiger and Kimmich, I'd say. But to have potentially about 5 world-class-ish players in your side, and you have players also like Gundogan and Goretzka and all these other players as well, Gnabry, so much talent, and you finish fourth. Like, what? I mean, and what I don't want to do is take the credit away from Japan, because as a fan, it's incredible to see. It's enjoyable. This is what football's all about. But since I'm making a video, I sort of have to, criticise Germany. So, yeah, I have to be a bit boring and remove a bit of the fun from Japan and criticise Germany and just say that it's just very poor from Hansi Flick and the players, not just the manager, the players as well. And I have also just realised that Germany finished third, not fourth. But still, is it really good enough? Although it seems like all doom and gloom for Germany, it's not really. There's a new generation of players coming through. You have players like Havertz, who at club level hasn't really impressed what we thought he would, but on the international level he is continuously performing for Germany. Against England at Wembley, we saw, well, he came on and scored a ridiculous goal and played really well. And in this World Cup, I actually thought he played well too. He scored 2 goals, and I thought he's the one who pushed Germany on and seemed to have that winning mentality. Rudiger as well, I just think for me, I think he's made himself a world-class centre-back now. I think he's insane in every game as well. He's just he's a no-nonsense centre-back, brilliant on the ball, brilliant off it, and just a fantastic player. And the last one is the potential star. I say potential star, he's already a star. He is incredible. Musiala. Musiala is an extraordinary talent. He was playing with such a confidence in all 3 games. His dribbling is fantastic. His ability to beat players, take players out of the game. In a few years, Germany will be extremely happy that he chose Germany over England. Japan, story of the tournament? I think so. They beat Spain and beat Germany, but lost to Costa Rica. Football, eh? Ritsu Doan is someone that, well, deserves a lot of praise. To come off the bench twice and impact 2 different games against 2 very good teams like he did was sensational. The goal against Germany as well Spain, was very good. Like, you could argue the keeper should save it, and he probably should, but it's still an amazing strike from him. Asano as well, another player that came on, brought an attacking intent, gave it his all, showed great determination and ambition when he came on, and just looked a good player. Just looked like a leader when he came on. Mitoma, not only Japan but also Brighton, I think have a really good player there. He's very talented, and he's had a very good World Cup so far. Got an assist. For some reason he's not starting. I mean, he's making an impact off the bench, so if it works, it works. But I just think he's really good on the ball and a very intelligent player. Japan just have so much energy. Like, you look at their players and they don't stop working for each other defensively, and on the attack, they are rapid. As soon as they win that ball back, they're attacking and they want to score goals. And ultimately, that threat of scoring goals has helped them finish first in the group. Shout out to Tomiyasu as well, who's had a very good World Cup so far. When he comes on, solidifies that defence, and it's annoying because Arsenal have such a good player there. But for Japan, he's having a very good World Cup and just locks that right side. It's very tough to beat him one-on-one. Let's just talk quickly about Spain. I'm not too impressed. They finished second in the group to Japan, of course. There's just not enough intensity for me from Spain, and the lack of striker. But he's constantly, Luis Enrique, swapping his striker every game. And for me, last night was an absolutely awful decision to take Morata off. Morata is the joint top scorer in this World Cup. Morata has only played 126 minutes of football and averaged a goal every 42 minutes. And then when he's losing, he took his striker off, who has the best goal ratio in the whole tournament, whilst they were losing. All Costa Rica had to do was score another one against Germany, and Spain are out. It was a terrible decision. He has to play Morata. No one else is impressing enough in that position. Spain's passing is good. They keep the ball well. I think Rodri's been fantastic this World Cup. I still cannot believe they didn't take Thiago. For me, possession isn't enough. In football now, you have to have attacking intent, and it's exactly what Japan had. Spain didn't, and look what's happened. Let's move on to Britain. Well, half of Britain. Maybe not Scotland and Northern Ireland. I don't know why I'm acting as if we didn't just flop at the World Cup. But obviously I'm not talking about England, although if you listen to the England fans, you'd probably think I am. I'm pretty sure, despite most of Wales seeing us getting piped by Iran, by the way, also getting beat by our rivals England 3-0, not nice. I think most of us are still more positive than most of the England fans, and they just topped the group. Well, not most of England fans, just the England fans online. I know that most England fans probably are actually very happy with how the World Cup is going, and the ones that online act like international football is club football. It's a bit embarrassing. I'm going to do a video on Wales, I think, as I am Welsh. Anyway, most of Wales is proud, as I am. I'm very proud of my country. It's a very big achievement for Wales to be in there, in the world's elite, put ourselves on the map. Our fans represented us very well out there in their bucket hats. They sang our national anthem, extremely well, and they made us proud. So respect to them. But we were very bad. This is the worst we have been for a while. Now I'm trying not to sound too entitled, because I've had it very lucky watching Wales play football. I've had the Euro 2016. I've seen us go to 2 Euros in my life, and now World Cup. So I'm trying not to sound too entitled. And I love these players. Gareth Bale is one of my favourite players ever. Well, he is my favourite player ever. Aaron Ramsey, the same. Players like Ben Davies, Ashley Williams, Robson Kanu, Wayne Hennessy. These players have just done so much for Wales, in the past. Even players like Ethan Ampadu, helping us get to the Euros. Joe Rodon, Connor Roberts, Nico Williams, all of them, done so well. Kiefer Moore, Dan James. But we really let ourselves down, I think, in this World Cup. I really don't think we represented ourselves well at all. Football-wise, not fans. The fans were incredible. But that's all I'm going to say about Wales. England have been very impressive. They've probably been the most impressive team with France, alongside France. There just seems to be a lack of content there, doesn't it? They just complain anytime something goes wrong. I'm seeing people say, sack the manager halfway through a tournament. Well, not halfway through a tournament. Bear in mind, England were top of the group when people were saying that, when they drew to USA, who are a good team, by the way, who came second in this group. Destroyed Wales, tore us apart. It was just not a contest at all. We've seen teams like Denmark, France go 1-0 down to Australia, lose to, who did they lose to? Tunisia, was it? Spain lose to Japan. Germany, out. And we've seen a lot of upsets. Argentina, Saudi Arabia. So to beat these teams is not easy in a World Cup. And I think England fans need to understand that just a little bit more. And for them to lose their minds after a draw to America, who are obviously going to play very well or try their best that game, to me is crazy. There's also a conversation, should Kane be dropped? Now this is a recurring theme in every single international tournament from England fans, or the ones online anyway, who have little brains. No, Kane should not be dropped. Poland. Has Lewandowski been amazing for Poland in his career? Not really. Do they drop him? No, because they know he's world class. He's elite. He's at the top of the top. Harry Kane is in that same bracket. Why would you drop Harry Kane, who, by the way, is having a good tournament? I mean, he could have 5 assists. He's the top assister in the World Cup. He could have 5 assists. I think of the cross he put in for Sterling, where the keeper parried it away in the first game. Brilliant cross. The pass he made to Rashford against Wales, he could have made it 1-0. Another assist there. If you expect Harry Kane to just be a number 9, you're just not familiar with his game. Do I think Harry Kane could be performing a bit better? Yes, I do. I didn't think he was amazing against Wales. I thought he was just alright. I thought he was okay. But would I drop him for someone who he's outperformed for the past 7 years by a massive margin as well? No, I wouldn't. And by the way, I rate Callum Wilson very highly. I think he's a fantastic striker, but there's levels to this shit, okay? Rashford and Harry Maguire. I didn't see this coming like one bit, to be honest. Rashford has been player of the tournament, arguably. He has a big case. The free kick is ridiculous versus Wales. Reminds me of his one against Cardiff for Man United a few years ago. The one against Chelsea. We know he has this talent somewhere. We just haven't seen it for a few years. I didn't him in my England team or Harry Maguire. I think I was okay to leave them out, but Rashford is proving me very wrong as it stands. He would definitely be in team with the tournament. He would fill that left winger spot. First goal when he came on against Iran was very good as well. Harry Maguire's been the best defender this tournament. Like, comfortably. He looks comfortable. He looks confident. He looks like a completely different player. And this is a 4 at the back, so he can play a 4 at the back. But as soon as he goes to club football, he just falls apart. Is this the Rashford renaissance? Is this the World Cup thing that happens where one player ends up at Real Madrid? Will we see RM10 at the Bernabeu? Let's talk about the GOATs. How are they doing? Not great. Ronaldo scored a penalty, tried to steal Bruno's goal, then rang Piers Morgan saying that, whilst he was in the changing rooms, saying that it was a goal, only for it to be proven that it wasn't a goal. Messi missed a penalty, scored a great goal, looks great on the ball, but walks for about 83 minutes out of the 90. Argentina looked much improved, much more like the Argentina we were expecting against Poland. Thought Messi was fantastic on the ball, like I said. I thought Romero was back to the Romero that's, well, a good Romero. He's been quite poor of late. And yeah, I think Argentina just looked better. 2 stars have been born in Julian Alvarez and Enzo Fernandez. Thogden is looking like a genius right now. It was a great goal from both of them as well. Yeah, Argentina just smashed Poland. Lewandowski had 36 touches. He should be dropped for their worst Poland striker. I mean, that's what some England fans would do, right? Poland did finish second, but for me, I don't think they looked impressive at all. And I don't know who they've got next. I could look, but I'm going to be lazy and not do it, not look. But I'm going to guess they're going to go out in the next round. Saudi Arabia are the biggest one-hit wonders since Gautier. You know that guy that sang this song? Him. I think it went a bit under the radar how Saudi Arabia beat Argentina, putting in like an unbelievable performance, and then lost to Poland and who else was it? Mexico? What? We have to talk about the games that we saw today. Well, for you yesterday. This will be out in the morning or afternoon. So yeah, today Uruguay played. Uruguay went out. Suarez was crying. Ironic, really, that he was crying against Ghana after what's happened all them years ago. Now, Uruguay were actually a lot of people's dark horses. They weren't mine. I will talk about mine later, which is even worse than some people with Uruguay. But yeah, I thought Uruguay were actually quite good. A bit like Ecuador, I don't really think they deserved to go out. I thought Bentancur and Valverde were amazing this tournament. I thought Darwin Núñez was a bit disappointing. Suarez in the first 2 games was laughable. I was just laughing every time I seen him. Just running, just looked so out of shape. Third game he was actually quite good, to be fair. I mean, he's definitely got something against Ghana. Don't know what it is. We won't go there. But Pellistri was a complete waste of a shirt. He did nothing this whole World Cup. He was just sort of there. He's a bit like, you know, when Dan James was playing for Man United? Like, he was playing that role, but for Uruguay. I thought he was very poor. I don't think he offered anything. I think he's young, so might be better in the next one, but for now, he was poor. I thought against Portugal, they were decent. They just came out against a team that played well on the night. I think they were a bit complacent against South Korea. I thought South Korea played well that day, but I thought Uruguay could have been better. And I think they were a bit complacent. I think a lot of big teams have been complacent this World Cup. I think that's why we've seen so many shocks. Now, we spoke about Spain, and I said I wasn't very impressed with them. I'm less bullish on Portugal winning the World Cup by far. I've not really been impressed by Portugal at all. I thought Bruno was insane against Uruguay, and I think he's having a good World Cup. But can I see Bruno putting in another I think it's 4 more games until the final. Can I see Bruno really putting those level of performances up again 4 times in a row? No, I don't. And I think if Portugal are going to win the World Cup, he's going to have to be at that level. Ronaldo isn't the same player anymore. I don't think he's even a top 5 striker at this World Cup. Ruben Diaz and Cancelo, I think, have been struggling. I think they are overrated, those 2 players. I think Ruben Diaz and Cancelo are both phenomenal. Well, Cancelo, I think, is phenomenal. But I don't think his defensive abilities get criticised enough. I mean, you think of Trent, how much he's criticised. Cancelo, I don't think, is that much better. I think we've seen that a bit in this World Cup. I also think Ruben Diaz plays from, like, in his first season, he was very good for Man City. But people were comparing him with, like, Van Dijk. I don't think he is that level, like, nowhere near. But I do think he's very good. Just think he's struggling this World Cup. I do think Portugal are a good team. And I think they have good players, talented players. João Felix and Rafael Leão. But overall, just not good enough to win this World Cup, in my opinion. I'm not going to speak about Ghana for long. I don't think I've seen many of the games. I've seen, like, parts. From what I have seen, Mohamed, the commentator, was saying Kudus. I thought it was Kudus. But we'll go with Kudus. I thought Mohamed Kudus was Kudus. God, that is so weird to say. Kudus. Mohamed Kudus, I thought, was very good in this tournament and showed great potential. Plays for Ajax. I think someone will be sniffing around for him in the summer. Really talented player. Going forward, I think he just breaks the lines with his dribbling so well. And if Andre Ayew doesn't put a awful penalty and just slots it away instead, I think maybe it's a different story. Who knows? Morocco finished first above Croatia and Belgium. Now, I predicted Croatia to finish top in this table. They didn't. I thought Croatia have actually been good this tournament in the last 2 games, especially. I thought against Belgium, Croatia were very impressive. But Morocco, wow. I have to say Amrabat is a very good player for a start. The CDM from Fiorentina. I've seen a lot of Spurs fans saying they want him in the summer. We have like 3 CDMs already, Spurs fans. We need an attacking midfielder. Don't know if you realise. There's no point just, stockpiling just one position. Probably be a good idea just to, move it around a little bit, even things out, bit of balance. Instead of just having 4 good CDMs, there's no point doing that. Don't know why I got so annoyed at that, Just move on. It's bad opinion from some Spurs fans, just move on. But I can't. I have to call it out. When I see it, it's ridiculous to even suggest us getting Amrabat. I think a lot of clubs will be looking for his signature in the summer, though. He was really good. He was the best player on the pitch, I think, for every game. And Nesri turned up in the final game as well. He has scored a lot of goals for Sevilla in the past 2 seasons. And it took him until the 3rd game to settle into this World Cup. A very good finish. Well, twice actually, but the second one was offside. But yeah, he looked good. Ziyech being the main man, apart from Amrabat, Ziyech had to carry the front line a little bit throughout this tournament. I wonder if Ziyech will get a move, because obviously there's talent there. I think he's a bit inconsistent, but will someone look for him in the summer? Who knows? I know this. I've just realised this is like all over the place. I've not gone from Group A, B, C, D. I've just gone from nation to nation, just randomly at this point. So if you're still here, thank you, and like the video, please. Helps the algorithm. We're long enough into the video now for me to ask for that. Do it, please. Quickly, I will just talk about Brazil. Top the group. They've looked decent, bit disappointing. I wouldn't say as impressive as England and France. Richarlison has goal of the tournament already. I think I just can't see anyone topping that. It's ridiculous. The touch is the best part. I think Brazil just took a little bit, again, a bit complacent at times. In the first game they were terrible, I thought. Apart from the goals, of course, but overall I thought they were poor. Gotta be said, they were a great win for Cameroon, over Brazil. That's an amazing win. They did finish 3rd though in the group. Let's go on to my dark horses. Serbia finished 4th, didn't win a game. I thought they would do well. I thought Mitrovic, Tadic, Milinkovic, Savic. I thought they would do well. I thought they would. There's a lot of talent in that team. I thought Mitrovic, especially coming into this tournament, had about 11 goals in his last 11 games for Serbia. So I thought he would do something in this World Cup. He didn't, apart from dive when he could have scored in the last game. So that was annoying. But yeah, Serbia have let me down. A bit like a lot of people predicted Turkey in the Euros. This was my Turkey equivalent. Switzerland went through. I thought it would be close between Serbia and Switzerland for one of them two. I didn't expect Cameroon to finish above Serbia. Yeah, Switzerland are a good team, and they did deserve to go through in the end. We'll talk about three teams in particular now to finish off. We'll talk about France first. I think they've been really impressive. Mbappe, I think for me this World Cup, we've learned one thing. We've seen Messi, we've seen Neymar, we've seen Ronaldo, we've seen De Bruyne, we've seen Modric. I think Modric has actually been incredible, by the way, this World Cup. For me, Mbappe is probably the best player in the world, isn't he? I think he is. I've been denying it. I've been saying Messi for a long time. Well, 10 years, 15 years. But I think now, I think Mbappe's taken the torch. Him or Modric at this moment in time. That will probably change. Kevin De Bruyne from Man City will step up again soon. But I think for now, if you were to tell me who are the two best players in the world going off of this World Cup, you'd probably go with Mbappe and Modric, right? Giroud as well is the perfect player to go with Mbappe. You could make the argument as well for Griezmann being the best player of this tournament. To be fair to him, he's been really good, dropping deep, and just looks really neat and elegant on the ball, like Griezmann used to look. Konaté and Upamecano, what a defensive partnership they are. I know France lost one game, but they were very complacent. They were already through. But them two have looked really impressive. I think they've got the best left back in the world in Theo Hernandez as well in this World Cup. He's in his prime, coming into his prime, and he's insane. I mean, the attacking threat he offers is crucial for France. And they are this strong without the current Ballon d'Or winner. I mean, talent is just coming out of France. Like, there is no tomorrow. It's a bit scary because they just keep producing it. You've got players like Tchouaméni and Camavinga coming through as well. As it stands, it's either them or England to win it for me. I'd still edge towards France though. Now we have to finish off with two disappointing teams. We'll start with Denmark first. A lot of people's dark horses. In fact, Denmark going out, is that disappointing for them? I didn't even consider them dark horses anymore. I just considered them one of the best teams coming into this tournament because they were on form. They got to the semi-final of the Euros. They've looked great in qualifying, the Nations League. They've been playing really well, chance creation, goals, but they just had none of that in this tournament. It was so flat. Eriksen for me was way too deep. I like him in the centre mid role, but he was practically a deep line playmaker in this tournament, which I didn't like. I think he should be a bit further up the pitch. Højbjerg was missing, wasn't he, in this tournament? He was amazing in the Euros, but this tournament I didn't really see him. And we have to talk about Skov Olsen. How on earth is Skov Olsen in this team? He doesn't look like a winger. I know he's got like 6 goals in the Pro League as a winger. No. He just looks so awkward. He looks like a striker for a start. He has that striker's build. He didn't look like a footballer. It sounds harsh, but, I have to be harsh. You're on a lot of money. I'm allowed to be harsh to you. And you've done nothing this World Cup. So continuing to play him was a mistake from the Denmark manager. The goal they did concede to Australia was world class, to be fair. It was actually a very good goal. But they're better than Australia. There's no excuse for Denmark to finish below Australia. Now, let's move on to Belgium. Now, the Belgium one is an interesting one because they were just comments flying out of the Belgium camp. You had De Bruyne and Vertonghen sort of publicly disagreeing. Kevin De Bruyne saying we're too old. Vertonghen saying that they ain't too old and maybe the attack is too old after they kept a clean sheet. It was just a nightmare from the get-go for Belgium. They were too old, let's be real. There's too many old players in that team, but I don't think that's the only reason that they lost. I think they could have got out this group. There's no reason for them not to. They weren't bad either in this World Cup. They had moments. They had moments against Croatia. Like Lukaku, let's talk about Lukaku. I do feel sorry for him a bit, right? Because, look, you should score. There's one chance where he literally just, all he had to do was just chest it in, but he just does it comes off his belly to the keeper. That one was poor. And he should have scored about 3, really. But at least he was actually getting the chances, showing the willingness to make runs. He was making intelligent runs. He was getting in the right positions to score the goals. He just had an off day, which strikers have. I thought he was actually good. It was a good performance, apart from he just couldn't finish, right? But Mertens and Hazard, what was that? Mertens was terrible. Hazard is not fit enough to be a footballer anymore at a World Cup, let's be honest. Start Carrasco. I know he started against Croatia, but start him for the other 2 games. Start Lukaku. Why are you starting Mertens? Martinez had a mare. I thought Martinez was the worst part for Belgium in this World Cup. You have to start Lukaku. It's just simple, really. And yeah, they were out. But they are out, Belgium. You know, when you compare them to the 2018 side, they were ripping through teams in the group stages. Lost to a very good France team, just a narrow loss. They beat Brazil in the last World Cup. This generational crop that Belgium have had, they haven't flopped. They just lost to another generational side in France. It's not looking good for them. Doku he looks exciting. He's sort of like the Wan-Bissaka version for an attacker. He's a bit all over the place, but he looks like he has potential. You have Yuri Tielemans, of course, as well coming through. I think Fais from Leicester is a good player. So they have to bring them through, and they have to start bringing them through now, because can't have another tournament like that. If you have enjoyed this video, give it a like. Subscribe if you are new as well, and let me know who you think has been the best team or the most impressive team, and the team that has been the most unimpressive as well. The team you expected more from, and who you think is going to win it. Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.